Hi, I'm Lindsay and I'm here to show you Clumio, the most scalable data protection solution ever built. The first step is to connect your AWS environments. We'll leverage either CloudFormation or Terraform to quickly and easily grant Clumio permissions to take backups and restore your S3 buckets. Once your AWS accounts are connected, you can start protecting your data right away. Let's start protecting some S3 data. You can protect buckets containing up to 30 billion objects. First, I'll select the environment I want to protect. This dashboard shows me a quick overview of the environment, but I'm going to click S3 on the Protection Groups tab and click Create Protection Group. S3 protection groups allow you to group buckets, objects, or prefixes across different storage tiers to be protected. So first, I'll name my protection group. In this case, let's say I want to make sure all my media files are protected. I can start by adding buckets by tag. This helps me automate my backups, meaning every time a new bucket is added to one of my AWS accounts, if it has this tag, it will be added to this protection group. And it'll start being backed up automatically. No need to log back into Clumio and manually add it. So I'll type in a key and value, and then for now, I'll move forward with this one bucket I have with this tag, knowing future buckets will automatically be protected. Now I can add buckets manually. If there are a lot of buckets on my list, I can filter by environment or bucket name. I'll just click the checkbox next to the buckets I want to add. Now I can refine my protection further. First, I can select which storage classes to protect. For this protection group, I'm really only worried about active production data, so that's not in the infrequent access classes. I can choose whether I want to protect all versions or just the latest, and then I can choose which prefixes or folder paths to include and any sub-prefixes to exclude. This is important because there could be billions of objects in a bucket, but they might not all need backing up. For example, let's say I want to back up all folders, but I don't care about backing up logs. Now I'll pick which policy to apply. Your Clumio account will start with one default policy, but you can create custom policies right here or by clicking on policies directly from the home screen. You can name policies, select which data sources they apply to, and select backup frequency and retention. There, I just created a new one. So now I'll pick that and just review my selections, and if everything looks good, I'll click Create. And then I'm done. The data will start being protected. But what if backing up once per day isn't actually enough? I need a 15-minute RPO, or recovery point objective, on some of these buckets. No problem. On the Buckets tab, I'll select the relevant buckets and enable continuous backup. And that's it. That was the protection workflow. Pretty simple, right? So now let's look at recovery workflows, starting with single object recovery. From my Protection Groups tab, I'll select the protection group I want to look at. From here, I can find the backup I want to restore using global search. I can filter by all these options and add a term to search. Then I'll just select the object, select the version I want, and then select which environment, bucket, storage class, prefix, and tags to restore it to. Once I click Restore, I'm done. The object will be restored. What if I found that a whole bucket has been corrupted or deleted? Let's restore a bucket. I'll click a date on the calendar view and select Restore Prefix Buckets. Then I'll select the bucket I want and wait a moment while the object preview is retrieved. Now I can take a look at these objects and confirm these are all the right ones. From here, if I want, I can filter to narrow it down to multiple objects, but since I do want the whole bucket, I'll just click Next. My bucket is now ready to restore. If I'm worried about the environment where the bucket was initially corrupted or deleted, I can opt to restore this bucket to a different environment, and I can retain the current bucket name or pick a new one from this list. And again, I can select a storage class and add a new prefix and tags if I want. I'll click Restore and we're good to go. That's the restore flow. Now let's talk security. Clumio is air-gapped by default and offers features like role-based access control, organizational units, multi-factor authentication, and single sign-on. These are all available in the settings menu. All Clumio backups also use end-to-end FIPS level encryption, but if your organization requires even higher levels of security, you can also bring your own encryption keys. You'll need to deploy AWS CloudFormation stack sets in the AWS accounts where you want to use BYOK. Alternatively, you could leverage Terraform. And that's it. In just a few minutes, I was able to protect my data, then find and restore it, and you can do the same. For a personalized demo of the most scalable data protection solution ever built, visit clum.io/try.